The Gospel according to Maponga J. Here on your station, brand new space. We're moving all our content and sermons for your spiritual development right here. You subscribe, you share with your friends. This is your new home for your spiritual growth. We bring you greetings. The last time we were here, we went through the story of Elijah, the drying of the brook and the transferring of his address and changing from the brookside into the greater city, the city of Zarephath. And we looked at a few principles there that we are dealing with a God who dries up brooks, but a God also makes streams in the wilderness. So we need to deal and balance up this picture, that we only don't bask in the goodness of God and we also forget the justice of God. But when Elijah is in the wilderness, dealing with his own problems, God is building another storyline in the city of Zarephath. And from the Zarephath side, the woman's basket is running low. Her oil is running low. As Elijah also, the stream is running low. And the bread supply that is given is told, eat a lot, eat much more, for the journey is long. Spirituality needs thorough time for preparation. You cannot always speak like Samson, I will wake up as usual. There are times when you must do unusual things, when the journey becomes unusual. And the Lord tells him to say, move up, and move to the east. And when he moves over to the east, he goes and he sits at the well. I like that part there. Another day we must come here and talk about the theology of the well. How many weddings were happening at the well? How many conversations have taken place at the well? And what is it that is with this well business and women? And when you study carefully, you will find actually these are fountains of life and fountains of greater supply. A great meeting place of various society. Ask Moses and Zipporah. You can ask Eliezer. You can ask Jesus and the woman at the well, and the stories will go on and on, including the 12 wells that Jacob had built for his sons. But when Elijah moves into the city of Zarephath and he sits by the well, I like that part also. Strategic positioning. Strategic positioning. Now, you want to place yourself where grace can find you. That reminds me of Zacchaeus. Place yourself where grace can find you. Knowing the geography of the city is an advantage. For you can go and sit on a tree when you know this is how they're going to come through. And in a similar fashion, we find Elijah here sitting by the well. I like that part. Where must you sit in life? Sit next to supplies. Sit next to the places where grace can find you. Where God, when he's in need of something, he does not need to look for you, but he will find you on the spot. And even opportunities, people, privileges, will crisscross your path when you are well positioned. The concept of ask and you shall find, seek and knock, does not lock us away in our houses, behind our doors, fasting and praying, hoping that prayers will be answered. With asking is seeking. With seeking is knocking. And with the knocking is an opening of the doors. Therefore, if you are going to be working with God, stop praying and work in isolation. Within the midst of divine movement, there is also strategic positioning, where Elijah sits himself, where the community comes often, where the well supplies the water, and constantly it's a place of meeting, and he sits here by the well. I like something very nice on that passage. While he's sitting here, the divine instructions sometimes baffle you. A prophet like Elijah, who had worked with God for weeks or months or days on end. I don't know how long he was in the wilderness. Having communication with God constantly. But when God sends him to a city, he does not even tell him what will happen in that city. Interesting. And yet we have people today who call themselves prophets, who seem to have seen into June, into July, into August, into the end of the year. But here is a good example that when God works with you sometimes, he can place you in a place and does not give you the GPRS, does not give you a strategic planning session, does not give you any instructions, except that you must get there and sit there. While he is there, busy waiting, then Scripture ignores a beautiful part. It just tells us the ending of it. For the woman here had lost her husband. We don't know how. She had minimal supplies in her house. That part is clear. She had little flour. She had little oil. You don't need anything else but to eat what you have and die. But in the midst of her meager, menial supplies, she decides she's going to go and look for some firewood. Now take note. Two stories are coming together. One from the wilderness and one from the city. And the meeting place is the well. The woman is looking for firewood outside the city, picking up firewood. That gets me excited. You see, there is something in life you must always learn. Is this idea, I want to say it early, lest I forget it. Do not stop collecting firewood because your flour has gone low. Don't stop collecting firewood because your oil is now low. Don't stop cooking for your husband because he's no longer coming home. Don't stop looking after your children because your wife is not being nice to them. Don't stop working hard because the salaries are not being increased. Don't stop doing God's work because Corona has now limited you. Collect the firewood simply means constantly be in the business of gathering resources that are able to assist you to can, South African English, to can cook when the blessings arrive. The woman was looking for firewood. I like to say it in a nice way. Gathering sticks. That's what the Bible says. Gathering sticks. Acts of kindness. Acts of goodness. Acts of patience. Acts of love. Acts of understanding. Constantly moving in the direction of goodness in the absence of the resources. Now, for me, that's deep theology that we need to unpack because many of us are actually evil. Ask me why. We are only good to those that are good to us, and we are evil to those that are evil to us. In the words of Yeshua, what difference does it make between you, therefore, and the pagans? They love those that love them, and they hate those that hate them also. But what makes a difference is when you love those that hate you, and you pray for those that persecute you. Then it puts you in a different league altogether. And this concept of gathering sticks, for me, it is the primary principle of evangelism and outreach. You do good things not because you want people to become Christian. You do good things because they are human beings. Many times we go around distributing food parcels and etc. And while people are chewing the food, you say, yeah, that is Adventist food. You must now accept the God of the church and come and join the church. Otherwise, you will not eat food. I would spit that food on your face and walk away. You don't give me food because you intend to make me an Adventist or make me a Christian. You give me food because I'm a human being. I'm a human being first, before I can become anything that you want to. In fact, that food is not clean food because it comes with intentions. It comes with intentions, and the intentions are not clear. You're not interested in my health. You're not interested in my stomach, but you're trying to use my stomach so that you can get to my head. That's quite abusive. Food is too calculated. We do good things because it is the right thing to do. And I want to give you a good principle. Gather sticks, even in the absence of. Let's do good things for the community. Let's do good things for our children. Let's do good things for our husbands and wives. Let's do good things for the community. Constantly gather the sticks. Now take note. Blessings don't come to people who are sitting in their houses crying over little oil, crying over little flour. Prophets never find people who are sitting in the backs of their houses, moaning and whining over the death of their husbands and how they've lost everything. I'll just eat this and die. I love the attitude. Even when I am waiting to die, I would rather die looking for resources as if nothing has happened. And while she is gathering sticks, doing what was important to her. And one wonders, when you gather these sticks, what are you going to do with them? Because you don't have enough to cook with. No, even if I die with my son, at least I must have some firewood that is next to me, near me. Maybe for other uses, maybe something will happen. I don't know. I might even get tempted to build up some theology that maybe she had faith enough that in the absence of her not being able to get more food, she will just use this firewood to warm herself up as she is waiting for death. But she had the resources with her. And now enjoy this part. When you are busy doing what is constructive, grace intercepts a conversation. There's a hopeless case that is coming here. And there's a man with a word. And they meet at the junction of need. There is something that Elijah has that the woman needs. There is something that the woman has which Elijah needs. And for me, what brings us together as human beings is need. Let me give you a philosophy that I run with. If you don't know what to do with me, don't hate me. I'm none of your business for the time being. When you know what I mean in your life and you find my position, the role that I must play in your life, you will not find it anywhere else except you come here. So let me give you a good theology. Never insult, lacerate, lambast, downgrade other people, because divine grace has not made you all sufficient. There is stuff that which belongs to you, which he has placed in them. And relationships is the password to access those things. And many of us are in the business of messing up relationships because I don't believe like you, because I don't think like you, because I don't dress up like you, because I don't walk like you, because I don't like the music that you like. And you think that because I am not you after all, every time you deprive me an opportunity to be myself, you are depriving yourself an opportunity to experience me. There is stuff that is in me which belongs to you. And there is stuff that is in you that belongs to me. Therefore, you need to be kind with relationships as they are the password of accessing those resources. Therefore, look around yourself and the relationships that you have, even the people that you think are the most useless. It's only that you don't know what is in them that belongs to you. So I've developed a very interesting attitude these days where I actually believe that the world is conspiring for my success. Now that's me. I don't know about you. I think that the world is conspiring for my success. People have built up TV stations for me. People are making cars right now waiting for me to come and drive them. People are putting up aeroplanes for me. The airports belong to me because the whole world over is making resources and giving services which will make my life comfortable. And if I don't know what to do with those people, stop insulting and stop marginalizing people. The world works for, and if you not read the Bible, all things. Come on, one more time. All things, the good and the bad, they work together in partnership for your good. If you are called by the name of the Lord and you are appointed for a task such as this, therefore whether it is good things or it is bad things, come on. Hug everything with a smile. When you meet an enemy, pray for them. In fact, this one is a nice one. Your enemies, they need more prayers. Because sometimes when the Lord places you in their hands, your prayers will make them softer. So when you're praying for your enemies, you're actually praying for your own welfare. For there are times when you fall in the hands of your enemies, just pray for them, that they have enough food, they have enough happiness, they have enough everything. So that when you enter and you reach their hands, you will not be a problem to them. So pray for your enemies. And pray for those that persecute you. But your needs are found in other people. And other people also have what you need. I think this is where the Bible becomes interesting. Where do unto others what you want others to do unto you also. This creates for us a community. And I think only Africans can really understand this passage because we believe in Ubuntu, living together. Umuntu, ngumuntu, ngabantu. You know, we belong together. You happy, me happy, we happy, community happy. We build up our communities based on these inter-social relationships, which must not be governed by simple tempers and misunderstandings that are found amongst us. On the same note, you tend to find out again that when Elijah sits on the well and the woman comes in by the well, Elijah looks at the woman and says to the woman, "Well, woman, please, can you go home and make me something to eat?" Take note again that divine grace does not count what we don't have. I like that part there. Grace does not calculate what we don't have. Grace always looks at what we have. Take note of that. Make me some bread to eat. The woman dances around, calculating her resources, weighing her stomach, her son's stomach, the prophet's stomach. And for sure, what Elijah is asking for, she has. But the problem is it's not enough for her strategy and for her plan and for her agenda. In her mind, she has her son and herself and the last meal that she has been reciting all along while she's collecting this wood. And the prophet comes around and says, actually, that's what you must give me to eat. To which she's honest. I like that part. She's honest. I don't have enough for all of us. All I have is for me and my son. And after we eat this, we are done. Let me teach you a principle of tithing right there. For some of you who are struggling with tithe. There's a verse that says, I'm the Alpha and I'm the Omega. When we do the tithing concept, we've been taught as a church only to tithe on the Alpha when everything is there. Let me give you a secret. When you look into your account and it had 15,000, you look again, now it is 4.5. You look a few days later, now it is 1.2. You look again another day, now there's 80 rand left. And you know, that's all you have, and that's the last one that you have. Either way, it's game over. Here is a secret. How about taking the last one that you have, put it in an envelope, and report to Grace that the Omega is what I have put in an envelope. See the miracle of what will happen. Because every time you throw it over, you are reporting as to what has remained. And this woman used the Omega principle. When the last that you have is what you give, to access the more that you must receive. And many of us will be broke even when you are remaining with 50 rand. And there's nothing more you can do. You are still going to get poor anyway. You may as well. You may as well just take the last thing that you have and hand it over into the arms of grace. Is this not the theology? Little becomes much. We talk about the Alpha when you still have much. Who has spoken about giving the little? The woman of Zarephath gives us the Omega, the last that she has. Goes home, bakes her bread in faith. The boy should have been looking, wondering, Mommy, is this for me? Sorry, my son, this one is not for you. There's a stranger at the gate. Now, this story becomes complicated. And I also have a problem with God on this particular one. Because what type of an adult, an old grown man with a beard, would be eating eating food that belongs to children? I mean, who eats a baby's child in the name of look after me first? But the principle is strong. Sometimes we must prioritize our relationship with God to such an extent that we can sacrifice the least of ourselves for the much of the instructions that are given. Give it to me. I will eat first. You missed that part at the beginning. I will eat. I will eat first. And then you will go home and make for your son and for yourself. Did you hear that part? In other words, the prophet does not mix words. In the midst of that, he puts some interesting nuances. No. It's not about you not eating. I'm just saying, make for me first. I like that part there. Do mine first. Because then the story then unfolds in a good way. For after she brings the cake to Elijah, and Elijah eats, Elijah instructs her and says, now, go back home. Now, that's where I have a problem again, number 2. Because I would not have left that old man sitting on the well. You have eaten my food and my child's cake. Now there's nothing left at home. Now you are telling me to go home and make for myself and my son. I said, no. If we are going home, we are going together. But the woman had more faith than I did. More faith than I have. She turns her back. She walks back home to make for herself. Now, for me, that's the journey of faith. When you have spent what you had faith in. When you have exhausted what you knew. It almost sounds familiar. When men have been fishing on the sea for a whole night and they catch nothing. And then the master says, cast your nets on the right. And say, but we have been doing it, but this time around it's with an instruction. Do it again. So there's a difference in obedience. There's a difference with obedience with instructions. Go home. Make some for yourself and your son. To which she walks back home. She finds there is enough flour. She makes enough oil. She makes for herself and her son. Take note, she did not stop there. She went back to the well and invited the men of God to come and live with her. For the next 3.5 years, Elijah lived in a house which had a miracle. I want to conclude somewhere there. The difference of this passage. I've heard many young pastors struggling with it and saying, yeah, the Lord blessed them for 3.5 years, and whoop, they go away, as if there was a 50 kgs of blessings that appeared, or flour at the corner of the house. So the blessings were sorted out, and she was sorted for the next 3.5 years. It does not work like that. And what informs me that does not work like that, number one, it is the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. Just when you want to confirm on that, the services of the temple, the bread was new every morning. Now, did you not hear David sing about it? But his mercies are new every morning. What does it mean, therefore? Every time she wanted to cook, there was enough for them to cook. First time, let's work on the passage nicely. First time, there was enough for one man. Second time, there was enough for 2 people, you and your son. Third time, there was enough for 3 people, you, your son, and Elijah. And for the next 3.5 years, every time she wanted to cook, no matter how many people were within her house, the supplies of oil and the supplies of flour never ran out, because God's presence constantly gave us the feeding. If you want to understand how the miracle happened, you need to go to the Messiah breaking the bread and the oil. That is now in the New Testament now, when Jesus is breaking the bread. Remember, the bread is the mixture of the oil and the flour, and he's breaking the oil and he's breaking the flour, and you're looking into his hands, it's just 5 loaves and 3 fishes, but the more he's breaking, the more it is multiplying. Come on, here's some grace out there. God multiplies by dividing. He adds by subtraction. Equals 12 baskets of leftovers and 5,000 fed full. You don't need a 50 kgs of blessings in your life. You don't need enough backup for you to have faith. That okay, I have, listen to me guys, who has ever received 100 years in one day? It's one day at a time. It's one night at a time. What causes stress is you want 40 years ahead, 10 years behind, that's 50. And you want to solve them in one day. That's a system overload. Because how do you fix 24 hours into 60 years front and back, and you want to solve that within 24 hours? That's the first recipe of depression and stress, is when you are trying to fit big time in small time. Maybe this time you can sing that song with understanding. One day at a time. One day at a time. Slowly but surely, night after night, whispers wisdom to the following day. And Elijah and the woman stayed together for 3.5 years. The supplies of the Lord were constantly given. They cooked, they ate, they lived for a long time, because finally they had understood, if not learned it well, that your problems are in my solutions, and my solutions are in your problem. I need you. You need me. We are all part of one big family. What is in me belongs to you. What is in you belongs to me. Can we learn some sharing? White men and black men. White men, you need the black man. Black men, you need the white man. Finding each other is a recipe for life. You will starve by the well, thinking you have the word of God. You'll starve in your own house thinking you don't need wood. Collect the sticks in your homes. Collect the sticks in your workplaces. Collect the sticks in your communities. Prepare for the blessings so that when the flour is finally given to you in the evening, you don't look for firewood in the dark. You may end up bringing some snakes into the house. Have the resources necessary to support, to assist you, to cook the meals when the Lord has blessed you. I like that part there. Stop praying for a car when you don't have a license. Come on, collect the wood. Hello, somebody out there. Collect the wood. If God blesses you with a car and you don't have a license, you are a nuisance. It will kill you and kill other children also. I said collect the woods. While you're waiting for promotion, come on, collect the woods. Do some studying out there. Do some extra learning. Sharpen up your skills. Is someone with me out there? While you are waiting to get married, come on, start some ironing and be whistling while you're ironing. Fix up some jackets. Learn how to polish some shoes. Come on, some young men out there, start learning how to make some gardens. I'm saying collect some sticks while you're waiting for the blessings to happen. Don't sit around and fold your arms, waiting for the doors of blessings to come through, waiting for a breakthrough. A breakthrough is nothing without firewood on standby. May the Lord of grace give you strength while you're collecting these sticks, preparing for your miracles to happen. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. The Gospel according to Maponga J. Here on your station. Brand new space. We're moving all our content and sermons for your spiritual development right here. You subscribe, you share with your friends. This is your new home for your spiritual growth.